Hare Krishna, dear Srila Gurudev, and Hare Krishna to all the devotees. Please kindly accept our most humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj, and all glories to you, Srila Gurudev. Jai Shri Ram. So we are very happy to welcome you all for session 2 of the 10th Global Online Event. And yesterday we had a very beautiful session along with Srila Gurudev himself talking. And we had also the opportunity to hear from His Holiness Vrindavan Chandra Goswami Maharaj. And today we will continue with the nectarian glories of Lord Ramachandra. And we have the opportunity today to hear from His Grace Shubhavilas Prabhu and His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj. So for today's program, dear devotees, we are offering language interpretation in three languages, Spanish, Portuguese, and Hindi. So we'd like to invite you all to watch a very instructive video on how you can access the different language. So can we have the video on screen, please?
Hare Krishna, queridos devotos, reverências, todas as glórias a Srila Prabhupada. Hoje teremos interpretação simultânea para a língua portuguesa. Se você desejar ouvir em português e estiver no computador, clique no ícone do globo no canto inferior direito da sua tela. Em seguida, selecione o idioma português. Para os usuários de celular, clique no ícone mais, depois no ícone do globo e em seguida escolha o canal de português. Muito obrigada. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा। आज हिंदी भाषा में अनुवाद की सुविधा उपलब्ध है। अपने कंप्यूटर पर हिंदी इंटरप्रिटेशन चैनल तक पहुंचने के लिए कृपया अपनी स्क्रीन के निचले दाएं कोने में ग्लोब आइकन पर क्लिक करें। इसके बाद हिंदी चैनल पर क्लिक करें। मोबाइल उपयोगकर्ताओं के लिए अधिक आइकन पर क्लिक करें, फिर भाषा व्याख्या के लिए ग्लोब आइकन पर और हिंदी चैनल का चयन करें। आपको धन्यवाद। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna, queridos devotos, reverencias, todas las glorias a Srila Prabhupada. Hoy tendremos interpretación simultánea al español. Si quieres escuchar en español y estás en tu computadora, haz clic en el icono del globo terráqueo en la esquina inferior derecha de tu pantalla. Luego, selecciona español como idioma. Para usuarios de dispositivos móviles, haz clic en el icono más, luego en el icono del globo terráqueo, luego selecciona español como idioma. Muchas gracias. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You're on mute, Prabhu.
I'm so sorry. Okay, dear devotees, I hope that you were able to follow the different instructions given in the video on how you can access the different channels, namely the Hindi channel, the Portuguese channel, and Spanish channel. And still, if you're having some difficulty, please do not hesitate to message Ask Your Servant, which is there on Zoom, to help you. And if you have any other query, you need some assistance, please kindly chat with Ask Your Servant to get your assistance or your query clarified. And now we'd like to present you the session schedule for today, the schedule of today's session. And so we'll start our program today with a wonderful talk by His Grace Shubhavilas Prabhu on the topic Finding Bhakti through Ramayana. Yes, Finding Bhakti through Ramayana. Then we have a second talk by His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj on the topic the divine qualities of Lord Rama. Then in between we have a quiz, a very nice quiz that you can cheer up a bit. And at the end we have very beautiful drama. Yes, so yeah. Okay, the schedule has appeared on the screen. So first of all, we have a talk by His Grace Shubhavilas Prabhu, Finding Bhakti through Ramayana. Then in between, we have a quiz. Then after that, a second talk by His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj on the divine qualities of Lord Rama, patience, courage, compassion, gratitude. And at the end, we have two beautiful dramas from the devotees of Nigeria and Mauritius, so that you can entertain you and enjoy the drama. So thank you very much for participating. And now we have the great pleasure to invite our dear most spiritual master, His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj on screen. And we'd like to request His Grace Utpal Prabhu, who is there with Srila Gurudev, who is a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. Prabhuji will be offering a garland to Srila Gurudev.
Thanks for giving me the honor to channel Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Damodara Swami.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you very
Jai,
much.
Jai. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
I go.
Jai, Jai, Jai. Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Shri Gurudev. Thank you very much, Utpal Prabhuji, for the garland offering. And now we humbly beg for the permission of Srila Gurudev so that we can begin today's session.
Very Prabhupada, please let us begin.
Jai, Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram. Thank you very much, Srila Gurudev. So now, dear devotees, we have the great pleasure to present our first speaker for today, His Grace Shubhi Vilas Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much for coming. So, His Grace Dr. Shubha Vilas Prabhu is a lifestyle coach, storyteller, and author. He studied patent law after completing his engineering degree, but finally chose the path of a spiritual seeker. He has just completed his PhD in leadership from Valmiki Ramayana, and his thesis is considered path-breaking in the field of leadership studies from ancient texts. Ramayana, the Game of Life, is his best-selling series. He is also the author of One-Eyed Meditations, Mystical Tales for a Magical Life, and Perfect Love, 5.5 Ways to a Lasting Relationship. He has authored more than 30 thought-provoking books. The focus of his work is the application of scriptural wisdom to day-to-day life and addressing the needs of corporates and the youth through power-packed seminars. In his 11 years of monkhood associated with Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Temple, ISKCON Chowpatty, Mumbai, he has served in various leadership roles in congregational development as well as management. He heads ISKCON Goa, where the congregation has been on a steady growth curve under his leadership. He also heads Tulsi Books, a publishing house for spiritual books, pioneer of the Gita Champions League, GCL, now an international competition to promote Gita learning in school. He has delivered more than 6,000 talks, inspiring more than 600,000 people across 20 countries in the last 10 years. He's a popular guest speaker at the prestigious universities Stanford, Princeton, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, Boston, to name a few, apart from the Indian Institute of Technology, IIT in India. He is also a visiting faculty at several premier business management schools, including the Indian Institute of Management, IIM, and the Nasi Monji Institute of Management Studies, NMIMS, Mumbai. He is on the advisory board of the MIT Pune online education system. He has also spoken at Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and Samsung at their world headquarters at USA. So to know more about him, please visit www.shubhavilas.com. So Prabhuji, we are very happy to have you over today, and we would like to offer you a garland. So we'd like to invite on screen His Grace Samadarshi Prabhu from Nairobi. Okay, Samadarshi Prabhu from Nairobi.
Due to
On screen,
technical
please.
issue, he is not able to join right now.
Okay, no problem. So anyway, Prabhuji, we'd like to mentally offer a garland, and we'd like to request you to please kindly share your precious word with us on the topic finding
I was
Bhakti through
wondering if
Ramayana.
he's
Thank you very
walking
much.
from somewhere here. I
Sorry, Prabhuji.
was wondering if he's going to walk in from somewhere here to offer me the garland. First of all, before I even begin offering the prayers, I would like to thank His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj for having invited me here and for so kindly and so graciously uh, allowing me to serve all of you with the kind blessings. Maharaj, like to speak something for the glorification of Lord Ram.
We are very grateful to have you, Prabhu, and we are very, very tasty to drink the nectar you are having to present to us. Please go on. We are ready to hear from you. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Please offer a quick prayer and we begin. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalaka Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnamascha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunathamutam Tam Sujeevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Dalita Shri Vishaka Natamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Prabhasindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. I'd like to welcome all of you all to today's Ram Katha, and I am going to be speaking on this topic of deepening your bhakti through the Ramayana. So, a lot of people misunderstand the Ramayana to be not a bhakti text. A lot of people, including devotees, unfortunately, they feel that Ramayana and Mahabharata are about dharma, artha, kama, moksha, and not directly about Shuddha Bhakti. But in my little humble study of the Ramayana, I found that the Ramayana is deeply embedded in Bhakti. And I'm going to bring out a few very, very interesting and a few very, very powerful understanding of Bhakti through the Ramayana. Of the many characteristics that that exhibit high levels of devotion in the Ramayana is I'm going to focus on three personalities who are epitomes of Bhakti in the Ramayana, and we will focus on their devotion and their connection with Lord Ram. We'll focus on Vibhishan, Shabari, Hanumanji, and in the end, if time permits, I will speak a little bit about the sages of Dandakaranya. So I'm going to bring out episodes from the Ramayana, and I'm going to bring out how each of these episodes talk about the highest level of devotion, the highest level of bhakti that all of us can learn from. Let us start with Vibhishan. At a particular point in his life, Vibhishan had a choice. He had to choose a life of comfort or a life of satisfaction. He had to choose between a life of compromise and a life of values. He had to choose between a life of wealth or a life of service. He had to choose between kingship or survivorship. He had to either sit at the feet of Ravan or sit at the feet of Ram. All of us in our lives, we come across situations where we have to make such choices. And whenever we come across situations where we have to make such choices, most people choose the easy choice. Because the tough choices come with challenges. And whenever challenges are there, it's difficult. It's not easy. So people love comfortable choices. People love a life of comfort because that's a life that's easy. Vibhishan made the tough choice. He rejected the kingdom. He rejected his brother. He rejected all the wealth, the position that he had. He rejected comforts. He rejected security. He rejected practically everything that he had built all his life. And he chose dharma. Because he knew when I'm choosing dharma, I'm also choosing a life that is tough, a life that is disciplined, a life that is a life of non-compromise. Vibhishan, when he was leaving the kingdom of Ravan, he was leaving the palace of Ravan, he made a bold, open declaration. He told everyone there, I'm going away from here. And I am openly inviting any of you who want to walk out today with me to come with me. Usually when you are in such a situation where you are leaving an organization, and especially when you know that, ethics are not good there, principles are not rightly followed there, and you decide, I want to walk out of the organization. How many people say, anybody come with me? You can also come along with me. Most people just quietly walk out, isn't it? Vibhishan didn't quietly walk out. He declared boldly, come with me, because he wanted to give some people an opportunity. 4 people got up. 4 demons got up. And they decided to walk out along with Vibhishan. And the only thing Vibhishan took from Lanka along with him, the only thing, other than the clothes that he was wearing, the only thing that he took along with him was a mace. And the Acharyas explained, why did Vibhishan take the mace? All the demons said, we won't come. The mace didn't say anything, so he picked it up. So, sometimes devotees, they just are so compassionate on you. Even if you don't say, I want to come, but if you don't say, I don't want to come, they'll pick you up. So Vibhishan picked up the mace, and with the 4 demons, he moved towards the southern ocean. He crossed the ocean and reached the other side, where Lord Ram, Sugriva, and all the monkeys were stationed. When the Vanaras saw Vibhishan come with 4 demons, they were very, very scared. And out of great fear, they went and told Sugriva that, Ravan has come. Vibhishan has come. Sugriva came running there, and he saw Vibhishan, and immediately Sugriva knew this guy is big trouble. In fact, Sugriva told the others, this person, he has got the most powerful weapon along with him. The Vanaras are wondering, what weapon is he talking about? 1 mace, that's all he has. What is such a powerful weapon? Why is he thinking that it's such a powerful weapon? Sugriva said, no, that mace is not the most powerful weapon. He has folded hands. That folded hand is the most powerful weapon that he's carrying. When you fold your hands, this is called Anjali Mudra. In front of Ram, when you go with folded hands, Ram cannot win against you. Immediately Ram loses in front of you. So Sugriv is saying this fellow knows very well what weapon will work to win over Ram. And he's carrying that, folded hands. So when we approach God with folded hands, the Lord's heart melts. He cannot say no to you. He cannot say, he cannot reject you. Sugriv is trying to somehow or the other get rid of this fellow. So Sugriv tells Vibhishan, sorry, Ram is very busy. He acts like a very typical bureaucratic secretary, Vibhishan tells him something very interesting. Vibhishan tells him, see, I'm a demon. And right now, my mind wants to surrender to Ram. Just allow me to surrender. Next moment, my mind might change because I'm a demon. So Sugriv ran to Ram. Look at this. Vibhishan understands very clearly that our desire to surrender is momentary. When you have the desire, do it then. A lot of people have this desire. I want to chant more rounds one day. They just postpone it by a day and then the desire is gone. Whenever you have any spiritual desire strongly burning in your heart, do it that moment because our minds are all demonic, isn't it? It might change the next moment. Sugriv ran to Lord Ram and he told Ram that Ravan's brother has come. Sugriv is very intelligent, very diplomatic guy. He didn't say Vibhishan has come. He's saying Ravan's brother has come. Just to instigate, just to try to make the whole thing difficult for Ram. So Ram tells, get him. Sugriv says, no, very dangerous. Someone who has let down his own brother. How can you trust that person? Ram looks at Sugriv and laughs. Because Sugriv did exactly that, isn't it? He let down his own brother, Vali. And he is here complaining about somebody else letting down his brother, And then Ram, of course, there is a beautiful conversation that happens between Ram and all the Vanaras. Ram is asking everyone their opinion. And Ram asks a very interesting question. Ram asks everyone, can I give shelter to Vibhishan? Sugriv immediately says, you should kill him. And Ram has such angry eyes. Like literally, nobody had seen Ram so angry. Till they heard Sugriv saying that statement. And they all realized that we can't tell this. We can tell everything else, but we can't tell kill him. So then everybody gave their own opinions. And finally, Ram asked everyone, do you want to know my opinion? They said, please. He said, I asked you all, can I give shelter to Vibhishan? All of you all should have said, you can give shelter to anyone. Because, you are capable of giving shelter to the whole world. And then Ram makes that very, very powerful statement. Sakradeva Varpannoyam Tavasmiti Yachate. Abhayam Sarvada Tasma. He says, anyone who once says, I am yours, I take shelter of you. Just once. That person I will do anything for. Abhayam Sarvada Tasma. I give that person fearlessness. And he says, get Vibhishan right now. Vibhishan comes running and falls to the feet of Lord Ram, prostrate to obeisances. And he said, Vibhishan's hands are folded right in front of him, over his head, folded hands falling in front of Ram. There are two elements of Sharanagati. The first element of Sharanagati is Akinchanatvam. Akinchanatvam means when you go in front of God with folded hands, it means you're telling God that I don't have anything. See, the problem with all of us is that when we go in front of God, we think that we have a lot. Suppose you go to God and give a visiting card. What sense does it make, isn't it? The moment you go to God and say, I am something, I have something, that simply means you're not going with the right attitude. When you go in front of God with folded hands, that's an indication that I have nothing. Akinchanatvam means I possess nothing. And Vibhishan actually possessed nothing that day when he was taking shelter of Ram. And the second thing Vibhishan did was he folded his legs. He folded his hands and he folded his legs. Folding, what does folding of the legs indicate? This is the second limb of Sharanagati, which means Ananya Gatim. Ananya Gatim means when you fold your legs, you can't walk, obviously, right? I mean, have you ever tried walking with folded legs? Impossible. Ananya Gatim means I have nowhere else to go. The problem with a lot of us is that we have many options. Because we have many options, we think that if this doesn't work, I'll do that. If that doesn't work, I'll do this. If this doesn't work, I'll do that. So we have many, many options. But Vibhishan had closed down all options and come to Ram. That is surrender. When you come to God with Akinchanatvam, I possess nothing, and Ananya Gatim, I have nowhere else to go. That is true surrender. And that's what Ram offered him. And then the moment Vibhishan surrendered to Ram, Ram picked him up and embraced Vibhishan. And he told him, you are my seventh brother. Who are the other six? Four brothers, Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrugna, four brothers. The fifth one is Guha, whom Ram met. The sixth one is Sugriv. The seventh one is Vibhishan. Vibhishan was so touched. His real brother had kicked him out. And here is a stranger whom he's meeting for the first time. And that person has immediately, brought him into his family. So he lost one Kula, but he has got another Kula. He has become a part of Raghu Kula. And that's what makes Vibhishan Sharanagati so special. That Ram brought him into his own family. So for anyone who thinks that, picking up Krishna consciousness means giving up so much, you're actually not giving up anything. In fact, you're getting much more than what you can even imagine. And that's what the whole idea of Sharanagati is. I'm going to discuss about Shabari and her sincere devotion to the Lord. Shabari was a person who was from a community known as Shabaras. The Shabara community is not even part of the Varnashram system. They're considered to be out of the Varnashram system. Shabari made one mistake. So she was a daughter of the king of the Shabara community. And she made one mistake in her life, in her young age. And the king of the Shabara dynasty, her father, was so disgusted with her, he kicked her out of the community. First of all, that community is out of the society. And from that community also, she gets kicked out. You can imagine her. So really, really kicked out from everywhere. And Shabari was roaming alone in the forest. Now, while she was roaming around in the forest alone, very, very sad and disheartened, at one point, she smells something very, very fragrant. The fragrance is so powerful, she just gets attracted towards the fragrance. She starts following the fragrance. The fragrance is coming from a tree, from some flowers in a particular tree. And the trees are in the ashram of Matanga Rishi. So she gets pulled to the ashram of Matanga Rishi by the fragrance of these flowers. Technically, the Pada Pradaksha Guru of Shabari is the fragrance of those flowers. So, anyone can bring you to Krishna consciousness, literally. So here in the case of Shabari, who brought her to Krishna consciousness? Flowers. So she wanted to know, what are these flowers? Miles together, I can smell that. And then the disciples of Matanga Rishi told her a fantastic story. They told her that many years back, Matanga Rishi was sitting here outside the ashram. And he observed a few of his disciples come back with logs of wood. They were all day out collecting these logs of wood, and in the night, the evening, they're coming back to the ashram. And they're sweating like anything. Like, so much of perspiration. And their perspiration is falling on the ground. Matanga Rishi tells his disciples, I bless you. He's so touched by their devotion and their sincere service. He blesses them. He says, I bless you that wherever drops of your sweat fall, there fragrant trees will grow. And wherever the drops of the sweat of those disciples fall, beautiful fragrant trees grew in which these flowers are growing. And these flowers are attracting, people from such far distances. That's the power of sweating and toiling for the service of the spiritual master. for the pleasure of the spiritual master. Matanga Rishi welcomed Shabari into their ashram. He didn't ask where she came from. He didn't ask why she was thrown out from her, family. He didn't ask, what was her background. Nothing. He just allowed her to stay with them and engaged her in nice devotion service. And Shabari very soon became one of the favorite disciples of Matanga Rishi. Many years later, Matanga Rishi was leaving back to the spiritual world. And while he was leaving back to the spiritual world, he was taking along with him all his disciples. And he called Shabari. And he told Shabari, I'm going from here, but I want you to stay back in the ashram. And I want you to wait here for Lord Ram to come. And I want you to serve Ram before you come back with us. Matanga Rishi said this and he went away. Shabari, obviously following the instructions of her guru, waited. Every single day, she plucked flowers and made beautiful garlands. Every single day, she cleaned the ashram. Every single day, she washed all the clothes. Every single day, she plucked beautiful fruits for offering to Lord Ram. Now, Guru has told her that, so she is waiting to serve Ram. One day passes, Ram doesn't come. The next day passes, Ram doesn't come. The third day passes, Ram doesn't come. She's very enthusiastic in wanting to serve Ram and follow the instructions of a guru. 1 year passed, Ram doesn't come. Matanga Rishi has not told her when Ram is coming. He only told her Ram will come. The spiritual master not always gives you definitive instructions. He may give you vague instructions. He may give you open-ended instructions. After the instruction of the spiritual master, it's up to you and your faith to decide how long the process is going to take. So the spiritual master tells all of us, Krishna will come into your life, certainly. So, does the spiritual master ever tell you this particular date Krishna will come into your life? Does it ever happen? No. The faith that Shabari had that any day Ram can come. Now, for you and me, whenever we lift our beat back and we're chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, potentially imagine a day comes when Krishna comes to test you. What is the quality of your chanting? What is the sincerity of your chanting? Are we prepared for Krishna to come any day? Obviously not. In fact, it's scary to even think like that, isn't it? Imagine Krishna does a surprise check when we are chanting japa. I don't think he will ever feel that we are ever qualified to get back to the spiritual world, isn't it? Because the quality is not. If somebody tells us the guru is coming or some senior devotee is coming, that day we are very prepared. We'll put our best, efforts. We will look best. We will chant best. We will behave the best. But on a normal day, we don't bother so much, isn't it? We don't think about our behavior. We don't think about our dealings. We don't think about our consciousness. We don't think about the quality of our japa. But Shabari, every single day, she was perfect in what she did. Because she knew that her guru's instructions will not go vain. Shabari waited for Ram for almost 13 years. Matanga Rishi told Shabari, Ram will come. Shabari is waiting here for 13 long years. Imagine that. And every single day she did all of that. When Ram comes into her ashram and he sees Shabari, he is amazed by her devotion. She offers beautiful garlands to Lord Ram and Lakshman. And then she offers fruits to Ram and Lakshman. There are stories about how Shabari ate half the fruit and gave it to Ram. That's not in the Valmiki Ramayana. But the understanding that we should have is that anybody who eats fruits regularly knows what fruits are tasty and what fruits are not, just by looking at it, isn't it? And anybody who plucks fruits, buys fruits from the market, understands how to select good fruits. So Lakshman, when the moment he saw the fruits, he immediately knew these are the best fruits. You know why? For 13 years, Lakshman has been doing only that, plucking fruits from the trees for Ram and Sita. So the moment he saw the fruits, he knew these are the best quality fruits, which means Shabari is really expertised in selecting the best fruits. She didn't have to eat little and give Ram. You know, that's not needed exactly. You know. So when Ram ate the fruit that were offered to her by Shabari, Ram ate as if he had not eaten for 13 years. Kept eating and eating. Lakshman had never seen Ram eat so much. Lakshman was amazed. And what was Ram eating? Was he eating Shabari's fruits? He was actually eating Shabari's love, which were laced in that fruit. Bhakti is a science of love. And your love is in details. The more you are going into the details of doing service, the more is the quality of love that is there in that service. Shabari ensured every single fruit selected is the best. She ensured every single day she cleaned the ashram spotless. She didn't think that, it's okay, let me take a break today, 1 year I've served, no Ram, let me take a break and chill today, No, every single day she continued her service. And that is the attitude that pleased Lord Ram. And Ram glorified Shabari in so many beautiful words. And then, after serving Ram, Shabari tells the Lord Ram, she says, my dear Ram, I have a request. Matanga Rishi, my guru, told me that you will come and I should serve you. I've done my service to you. She showed Ram the way towards Kishkinda, towards to find Sugri. And then she tells him, can I go back to my guru? Ram tells her, yes, please go ahead. And Shabari, right in front of Ram and Lakshman, she remembers her guru, Matanga Rishi, and self-emulates herself. Goes back to the spiritual abode to serve, continue serving Matanga Rishi. Guru brings us towards God. And God connects us back to our guru. When we enter in the spiritual world, at the entrance of the spiritual world, you'll be asked a question. Who are you? Don't ever tell your name. You will not get an entry there. Please tell the name of your guru. Tell that I am the servant of so and so. Then you will get an entry. If you go there and tell your name, they will say, Tata, bye bye, we don't know you. We don't recognize you. They'll tell you to get out from there. Because our existence hardly matters, right? But when we are connected to someone so powerful and pure, that connection matters. Shabari, in front of Ram, she's telling, I want to go back to my guru. Imagine that, So when you attain God, what is your aspiration after attaining God? Most people, they feel that attaining God is the highest aspiration of life. But here, Shabari is showing us that when you attain God, you ask for Guru Bhakti. You ask for devotion to your spiritual master. And I found that so powerful. I found that so deep. I found that such a understanding of the highest level of devotion. And I'm going to tell you one last story. And this is the story of Hanumanji. Of the thousands of stories of Hanumanji, there are some very, very sweet and some very, very special stories which are really, really deep and that show the kind of devotion that Hanuman has towards Lord Ram. Lord Ram, when he was sending the Vanaras towards the southern ocean to find Mother Sita, he was meeting each of the Vanaras and giving them profound blessings. And as he was giving each of them blessings, he went, so Hanuman was nowhere in the vicinity. He was not there at all. So Ram kept waiting for Hanuman to come. Finally, Hanuman comes right in the end after every single Vanara met Ram, took blessings and went. And Lord Ram, just in a mood of kind of having fun, a little fun with Hanumanji. He asked Hanumanji, "Where were you so long? I was waiting for you. Now all my blessings are gone. I've given all my blessings away. Now I have nothing to give you. Why didn't you come earlier?" Hanumanji tells Lord Ram, "My dear Lord, you have given away all your big blessings. Please give me the smallest blessing that you have." Ram asks him, "What is the smallest blessing I have?" And then Hanumanji tells Ram something very interesting. Hanumanji tells Lord Ram, "When you met Parashuram, and Ram and Parashuram met in front of each other after the marriage of Ram. So Hanuman says, when you met Parashuram, you told Parashuram that the smallest thing in your possession is your name Ram. So the name Ram is only so small, right? Rama, just 2 letters, 2 syllables. So Hanumanji says, "I want that. Give me your name Ram." And Lord Ram was so touched by the devotion of Hanumanji. And from that day onwards, Ram Naam belongs to Hanuman. Hanuman has like the full copyright of Ram Naam, basically. So whenever you chant the name of Ram, you are actually using Hanuman's property. You're chanting the name of Hanuman's property. And then Hanumanji, he touched the feet of Lord Ram. So when Hanumanji touched the feet of Lord Ram, so whenever you touch anybody's feet, what happens typically? You bend down, touch the feet of the person, right? And the moment you touch the feet of the person, immediately the person picks you up, isn't it? I mean, nobody will allow you to stay there forever, isn't it? It's a natural instinct that the moment somebody touches your feet, you cannot pick up that person. So Ram immediately bent to pick up Hanuman. So he held Hanuman on his shoulders to pick him up. Hanuman tells Lord Ram, "My dear Ram, let us stay like this." So Ram's hands are on Hanuman's shoulders, and Hanuman's hands are on Ram's feet. And Hanumanji tells Ram, "Let us stay like this." So Ram is wondering, what does it mean of stay like this? And Hanuman explains. He says, "My dear Lord, as long as my hands are at your feet, your hands will be on my shoulders." What is the meaning of that? Shoulders are a place where you do things. Whatever you do in this world is using your shoulders, right? If you didn't have shoulders, you can't do much. So shoulders are an indicative of your abilities. And Hanumanji is saying, when my hand are at your feet, your hands are on my shoulders. Which means when I take shelter of you, you empower me with ability. The moment I take my hand off your feet, you will take your hand off my shoulders. Therefore, Hanumanji says, let's just remain like this. Let my hand remain at your feet and let your hands remain on my shoulders. And I find that such a beautiful connection between Lord Ram and Hanumanji. Hanumanji is such a powerful person. He alone could have killed Ravan. He alone could have destroyed the whole of him. He eliminated 1/3 of the army of Ravan. What stops him from destroying the whole of Lanka? Isn't it? But Hanumanji doesn't do that. You know why? Because he wants the glory of killing Ravan to go to Ram only. He doesn't want to take the credit of killing Ravan. He doesn't want to take the credit of rescuing Sita. He doesn't want to take the credit of winning the war. That's the greatness of a devotee. He has the ability, but he wants to give the credit to the Lord. So whenever we achieve anything in our life, let us think about Hanumanji. And let us give the credit of our achievements to the Lord. Because the world is filled with people who take credit for even things that they don't do. But devotees are those people who give credit to the Lord for everything they do in their lives. And that makes devotion so beautiful. And that makes devotion so sweet. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful talk that you gave on the the three great personalities, namely Vibhishan, Shabari, and Hanuman. And one very interesting thing that you said about Vibhishan that I really appreciated, that the most powerful weapon when he took the mace, the most powerful weapon was actually the folded hand. So this was one thing. And also what you said about Shabri Mataji. Shabri, her guru told her that you wait for Ram will come. But the guru didn't say when Ram will come. So she waited, and she was doing everything perfect. Like you said, she would clean the yard, she would arrange everything nicely, waiting for Ram every day. And finally, Lord Ram came after 13 years. So very nice attitude. And finally, Hanuman, what you mentioned, that Hanuman will never take any credit. And similarly, the devotees also, they should not take any credit, but give all the credit to the Lord. So very, very nice, Prabhuji, for mentioning all these points. Very, very nice points. And now the devotee, Samadarshi Prabhu, who was supposed to offer you garland, Prabhu, from Nairobi. He was having some technical issue, but he joined and he has his garland, and he's very enthusiastic to offer you that garland. So we'd like to have Prabhuji on screen, please. Samadarshi Prabhu from Nairobi. Yeah, Prabhuji is here. Okay. Hare Krishna. Please unmute yourself, Prabhu. Yeah, Samadhi. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry, please accept my humble obeisances, and I'm very, very sorry for the delay. So I'd like to offer this garland to Prabhu. Please accept this garland from Shri Shri Radha Bhakti.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for the garland.
Thank you very much, Samadarshi Prabhu, for the garland offering. And now, dear devotees, yes, sorry, yeah, yes, Prabhuji. So we have time for some questions, if you permit. So we'd like to ask the devotees if they have any questions, and they can send their questions on the chat box. Okay, so we can read them for you, or you can also raise your hands and ask your questions. And in the meantime, that the questions are coming, I have one question, Prabhu, if you permit me. So normally, the description of Lord Ramachandra is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam by Srila Prabhupada himself in Canto 9, Chapter 11 and 12. And so the devotees, apart from what was given in Srimad Bhagavatam, does the devotee needs to go and consult Valmiki Ramayana or the Ramcharitamanas? So do we need to study these books also?
Yeah. So Valmiki Ramayana is the base for anything connected with Ramayana. So it is, Brahmaji's blessings to Valmiki Muni is, as long as there are mountains, as long as rivers exist, as long as oceans exist, Valmiki Ramayana will exist. And the credit of the Ramayana will always go to Valmiki Muni. So no matter how many people write the Ramayana in the future and in the past, how many people have written the Ramayana, the original is always Valmiki Ramayana. So obviously, all other poets, all other great writers who have written have been inspired by Valmiki only. But they have presented it in a language that works for a common man, that in the cultural context in which they were, and the realizations with which they had. But the reference has always been Valmiki. So in that sense, we refer to the Valmiki Ramayana as the basis of our understanding of Ramayana.
Okay, thank you very much, Prabhuji, for enlightening on this. And any other devotees, if you have questions, please kindly raise your hands, your virtual hand, or you can send your question in the chat. Check in the chat. Yeah, I don't think, Prabhuji, I don't think there are any questions more. So,
I would like to thank His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj for having invited me here, and such a pleasure and honor to serve all of you all on this most auspicious Ram Navami weekend. Thank you
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Super blessed Prabhu. Yeah, beautiful narrations. That was nectar. I don't know how much of the things you said here, so it's really, very enriching and encouraging for me. Thank you very much for that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So thank you very much for your precious words, Prabhuji. And we'd like to have you once again in our upcoming festivals. So thank you very much for joining us. And now, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. And now, dear devotees, it's time for the very interesting part of this session. And it's quiz time, as you guessed. It's quiz time. So it's time now that you try to test your knowledge about Lord Ramachandra. So I'll just explain a bit how it's going to be. So the question will appear on your screen, on a slide, along with the different options. And I will read the question for you, along with the different options. And after that, a poll will appear, and you need to choose the correct option in the poll. Please do not send your answers in the chat box. Use the poll only to answer the questions. Okay, and remember, you have to be very fast because the fastest becomes the winner. Okay, so let us have the first question of our quiz. Question 1. Please identify the devotee in this picture. So this is the picture coming up. So you need to identify who is the devotee in the picture. And the options, please. And the options are A, Kubja, B, Shabari, C, Mirabai, and D, none of the above. Please do not answer on slide, but the poll will appear now. Yes, so the poll has appeared, and you have the different options. And we can see that all of you're giving the right answer. 98% of the vote you got the right answer. Yes, and who was the fastest will win. So yes, the poll has ended. And now let us move to question 2. So the correct answer. The correct answer you know already. So the correct answer is Shabari. I explain what glories of Shabari. So the correct answer is Shabari. Now, okay, I have a small excerpt from Prabhuji's book, Ramayana series. So I'll read it for you. Ram experiences a tug of war between satisfaction and dissatisfaction. While eating the fruit Shabari offered, he meant to experience satisfaction by drinking water and living without it for some time. However, no amount of water is enough to satisfy a fish. Its need for water is constant. So more satisfaction he experiences by eating the fruit offered with love, the more dissatisfaction he feels. The love in Shabari's fruit makes Ram feel like a fish that needs constant supply of water to feel satisfied. Ram did not give any importance to Shabari's status, wealth, caste, gender, etc. Without any discrimination, Ram wholeheartedly accepted her mood of devotion towards him and made her a historical phenomenon in the nation, except from Raman series, book 4 by Shrivilas Prabhu. So thank you very much for this excerpt. So let us move to question 2. So question 2 is as follows. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, who is celebrated as the incarnation of Sri Hanuman, great devotee of Sri Ramachandra. So the different options are option A, Sri Sarup Damodara Goswami, option B, Sri Sivananda Singha, option C, Sri Murali, and option D, Sri Vasudev Datta. So, yes, all the and choose right. And devotees are giving the answers enthusiastically. Yes. 6% are saying Sri Murari Gupta. So let us see what is the correct answer. The correct answer is Sri Murari Gupta. Sri Murari. Yes. Okay, so we move on towards a small excerpt from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So just to test your firm faith in your Lord, I request you again and again to change your worship from Lord Ramachandra to Krishna. In this way, I congratulated Murari Gupta, saying, indeed, you are the incarnation of Hanuman. Consequently, you are the eternal servant of Lord Ramachandra. Why should you give up the worship of Lord Ramachandra and his lotus feet? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, I accept this Murari Gupta as my life and soul. When I hear of his humility, it perturbs my very life. So except from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 1555, 157. So now we move on to question 3. Question 3. Who amongst the following devotees of Sri Ramachandra was later killed by Sri Balaram? So let us have the options. The different options are option A, Vivida, option B, Jumbavan. Can we have the options once again, please? Yes. So option A, Dvivida, option B, Jambavan, option C, Sugriva, and option D, Rishabha. So now the poll will appear, and the devotees are answering. Yes. 82% answered option A. So now let us look at the, okay. Let us look at the correct answer. And the correct answer is option A, Dvivida the gorilla. So thank you very much, dear devotees, for participating in this very nice quiz. And it's always motivation. Although Dvivida was an associate of Lord Ramachandra's, he later became corrupted by bad association with the demon Naraka. I stated here, Narakasya Sakha. This bad association was the reaction for orphans. Dvivida, when being proud of his strength, he disrespected Lord Ramachandra's brother Lakshmana and others. So here our Acharya is commenting. Srila Vishwanath Thakur states that the Lord arranged the degradation of Dvivida and Vrinda to show the evil of association results from offending great personalities. The Thakura compares therefore to the Ajay and Vijay. So this is an excerpt from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 7, verse 12. So thank you very much, devotees, for participating in today's quiz. And the winners will be announced at the end of today's session. And now we have the great pleasure, dear devotees, to present our second speaker for today, His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj. So Maharaj is already here. Okay, so
Joining,
Maharaj has
Prabhu.
not yet connected with us. Okay, Maharaj is joining, no problem. So what we can do is we can introduce Maharaj in the meantime. So His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj. Okay. Okay, so we wait for Maharaj. Then what we do in the meantime, we can go to the drama. We have some 2 dramas. So what we do is we show the drama first, then we can listen to Maharaj. So dear devotees, in the meantime that Maharaj is setting up and preparing himself, So we can have a look at a very beautiful drama by the devotees from Nigeria. The devotees' kids, they are kids, and they have very nicely prepared a beautiful drama for you on the life of on the Shabri and Lord Ram. So let us have the drama on screen, please.
Please, please don't mash my flower. This flower is for only my ram, please. This man, it's like you're becoming crazy. Every day by day, you're setting flower for ram. The ram tell you he will come today. If my guru said ram is going to come, I surely know that he's going to come today. Don't mash my flowers. This flower is only for my ram. I thought you take another step.
Greetings, ma. I am looking for Shabrima. I am looking for Shabrima.
Shabrima? Who are you?
I am Ram, and this is my brother, Lakshman.
Ram? Ram? Ram.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So it was so inspiring to see that devotee kids so very nicely performing the role of Ram, Lakshmana, and Shabri. And we can see that they have put a lot of effort for the pleasure to please Lord Rama, Srila Gurudev, and all the assembled Vaishnavas. So we'd like to thank the devotees, the kids, Jagannath Das, Ramadas, Lakshmi Devi Dasi, and Sham Das for participating in this wonderful drama from Nigeria. So now, dear devotees, once, as we said earlier, we have now the pleasure to present to you our second speaker for today, His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj. So Maharaj has already joined us. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you very much for joining us.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj is a disciple of Radhanath Swami Maharaj and a grand disciple of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, ISKCON's founder Acharya. So as a brahmachari, Maharaj has served in many important projects and has preached the message of Bhagavad Gita very widely, especially to the student community. Maharaj has also served as temple president in Mumbai, Chowpatty, Vrindavan, and Belagavi, Belgium. Okay, in the month of March 2010, honoring his dedication and devotion, he was awarded the order of sannyas in ISKCON by his guru, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. And currently Maharaj as temple president of ISKCON's Belagavi, Belgium Center, he is nurturing and growing a large community of practitioners of Bhakti Yoga. Rooted in the belief of simple living, high thinking for the welfare of society and the environment, Maharaj is overseeing the ongoing development of a self-sufficient and sustainable Vedic eco-village, Gokul Dham, spread across 450 acres of land near Belgium. Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj is also actively engaged in the development of educational courses and preparation of course material based on the principles of Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic literatures. He's the guiding force behind Belagavi's first traditional Vedic school, Gurukul. So, Hare Krishna Maharaj, we would like to offer you a garland and we'd like to call upon His Grace Jagannivas Prabhu from Vrindavan. Prabhuji is from Vrindavan and he would like to offer you a garland, Maharaj. Please go
Hare
ahead,
Krishna Maharaj,
Jagannivas
please
Prabhu.
accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Kindly accept these Mahagarlands from Sri Sri Radha Syama Sundar.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Jagannivas Prabhu, for the garland offering. And now, Maharaj, you may kindly share your words with us on the topic, the divine qualities of Lord Rama, patience, courage, compassion, and gratitude. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Madhyanatimiraandasya jnananjanashalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapad Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadhu Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I am very happy to be here amongst all of you and in particular to get the association of His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj, a very dear friend to me. I have not met him for many years. I remember fondly our meetings in Vrindavan time to time. And I'm very happy, Maharaj, to be with you again and to offer some service to you and the devotees in this series of lectures on Lord Ram. It is very nice that you are organizing these lectures for devotees from around the world, wherever they may be. It is very nice to be absorbed in the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. And thank you for facilitating this and inspiring so many devotees in their Krishna consciousness. So today,
Thank you very much, Maharaj, for being with us. We are greatly honored to have you. And yes, we would like to hear from you.
Thank you. The topic that I was requested to speak on is the qualities of Lord Ram, and specifically focusing on patience, courage, compassion, and gratitude. And before we specifically get into these four qualities, I want to give a very brief background. In the Valmiki Ramayana, it opens with Valmiki addressing Narad Muni. Narad Muni has just arrived at the ashram of Valmiki Muni. And Valmiki Muni asks Narad Muni whether there is any ideal person present on earth now who is endowed with all good qualities, Gunavan. And he also mentions a list of other qualities that this ideal person should have. For example, that he should be most learned, he should be most powerful, he should have all attractive bodily features, and so on and so forth. So he lists about 15 such qualities. Narad Muni is very pleased to reply. And he says, yes, indeed, even at this point in time, there is such a great personality who is present here on this earth planet, who embodies all the qualities that you have mentioned, O sage Valmiki, and he has many more. He is Sri Ram, who is the descendant of King Ikshvaku. He has appeared in the Ikshvaku dynasty, the solar dynasty, and he is the son of King Dasharath. He is the embodiment of all good qualities, everything divine. Narad Muni goes on to enumerate no less than 67 such qualities of Lord Ram. Now, of course, as we all know, the Supreme Lord is unlimited in every respect. Therefore, he is also unlimited in terms of the divine qualities that he possesses. In the Bhagavatam also we hear that there is no end to the qualities of the Lord, and no one can count the Lord's qualities. Even Anantashesha, who has been enumerating the qualities of the Lord from time immemorial, has not been able to attain the conclusion of that description. And he will continue for time, into time, eternity, and still will not be able to count all the divine qualities of the Lord. But that said, many great devotees of the Lord, like Narad Muni, they sometimes pick out the chief qualities, those qualities that are most notable, noteworthy, and relevant and relatable to human beings in particular. And then they mention them, and sometimes also they elaborate on them. So Lord Ram has appeared in this world to demonstrate and exhibit the ideal qualities that a human being should have. He demonstrates it through his own personality, his own words, and his own actions and thought processes. He remains the Supreme Personality of Godhead at all times. But nevertheless, because he has appeared within the human society, it appears to everybody that he is also a human being. But we must never forget that despite his human-like appearance and the human-like exhibition of qualities of eating, sleeping, speaking, moving around, walking, etc., that he remains the Supreme Lord at all times. Whichever species of life that the Lord appears in, the Lord enacts pastimes that are in conformity with the general pattern of actions that the living entities in that species perform. So when the Lord appears as in the human species, then he acts like a human being, but because he's a Supreme Lord, he shows us what an ideal human being should be. And therefore, he's called Maryada Purushottam. So Maryada means etiquette. Purushottam means the topmost person. So Lord Ram represents the topmost in terms of character, in terms of conduct, in terms of qualities that any human being can possibly possess. Therefore, when we study the qualities, the pastimes, etc., of Lord Ram, we understand what qualities we as human beings should try to imbibe. Even if we are not devotees, even if we are not on the spiritual path, we are ultimately human beings, so we should try to imbibe these qualities and at least understand the need for developing these qualities and for such qualities to exist in human society. And all the more so when we are practicing devotees and we want to become pure devotees of the Lord. How much more important then is it for us to try to develop these qualities by first understanding how the Supreme Lord and his great devotees exhibit such qualities. So with this brief background, let's now discuss briefly each of these four qualities. And since these qualities pertain to the Supreme Lord, they are also endless. What to speak of the unlimited number of qualities that the Lord has? If you pick up even one of these qualities, the discussion on that one quality of the Lord will also be endless. Because there are so many pastimes, there is so much glorification of the Lord's, that particular quality that comes out through his pastimes and that have been glorified by the great devotees in history, that it will also be endless. Nevertheless, we have only a limited time. So I will try to speak about these four qualities in brief, just giving an outline. The first quality is the quality of patience. Whether we have patience or not, we are certainly familiar with this term. And as devotees, we understand how important it is for us to have this quality in the practice of our devotional service. And in the nectar of instruction, we are told by Srila Rupa Goswami, Utsahan Nishchayat Dhairya. We are all familiar with this verse. And Rupa Goswami says that among the qualities that are necessary and favorable for advancement in devotional service, the qualities of utsaha or enthusiasm, nishchaya, that means conviction and determination, and dhairya means patience and fortitude, are very necessary. So patience is a very important quality, particularly as devotees, but even ordinarily in life in the material world. Because patience means the ability to endure and wait. It is the ability or the mental fortitude to not expect results immediately. Because when we want things very quickly, prematurely, without the sufficient effort and passage of time, then that is a quality of the mode of passion in excess. And very often that may jeopardize and spoil the outcome. So even in ordinary life, patience is very important for us. Of course, patience is also tempered with many other qualities. In the Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 10, text 34, Krishna speaks about patience and fortitude as being kshama. And Srila Prabhupada, in his purport there, explains what exactly patience means. He says, and I quote here, when one is fully qualified and yet is humble and gentle, and when one is able to keep his balance in both sorrow and in ecstasy of joy, he has the opulence called patience. So there are two aspects to the word patience here. One is that even though one is fully qualified, one still remains humble and gentle. That's the first aspect of patience. And the second aspect is that one keeps one's balance and equanimity, even in the midst of sorrows or in ecstasy or joy. And Srila Prabhupada says this quality of patience is an opulence. So that's a very significant statement to make. So these qualities are opulences. So one who is endowed with qualities like the ones that are described in Bhagavad Gita and the ones that have been exhibited by Lord Ram, that person actually is very opulent. Opulence is not to be considered only in terms of gold and silver and money and possessions of this world. But opulence, truly speaking, is to be understood in terms of the kind of divine qualities that we are able to inculcate into our life. So, in the Valmiki Ramayana, right in the beginning, when Narad Muni is responding to the question of Valmiki Muni, as he's enumerating the 67 divine qualities, he mentions in relation to Lord Ram, Dhairena Himavaniva, that Lord Ram is like the Himalayas in fortitude and patience. The mountain just remains there, enduring so many things, patiently, just waiting. So there are many instances of Lord Ram exhibiting this quality of patience. And as I mentioned earlier, it is not possible to discuss all these pastimes elaborately. So I will just lightly touch upon them. The first is, of course, the fact that he went into exile for 14 long years in the forest, having been a prince and having been accustomed to all sorts of royal comforts. But he was very patient. He did not lose his temper or his patience, thinking, when will this period of 14 years elapse? I'm not able to tolerate being in this forest. And he didn't try to find shortcuts. He didn't even find any excuse to avoid going to the forest. He happily accepted this order from his father. And he went ahead and patiently spent the 14 years in exile. Now, it is a very hard thing to do, especially for a royal prince who has been accustomed to comforts, but he did that. And of course, a very famous instance of Lord Ram exhibiting the quality of patience is when he was in the shore of the ocean, waiting to cross over to reach Lanka and rescue Mother Sita from the clutches of Ravana. So in the Valmiki Ramayana, we have the description of Lord Ram arriving on the shore of the Southern Ocean and waiting there in the company of the huge army of Vanaras, the so-called monkeys. Of course, they're not actually monkeys as we understand them. These are also celestial beings. And they are a different species, Vanara. Vanara means, are they something like, are they humans? Va and Nara. So Nara, so these are these are so-called monkeys, but they're in a kind of a very special species, and they're endowed with all kinds of heavenly powers and abilities. So in any case, Lord Ram came there to the shore of the ocean. Many incidents happened there, and Lord Ram was thinking, now I have to cross over the ocean to go to Lanka to kill Ravana and rescue Sita Devi. But he did not do that. He did not act as a supreme personality of Godhead there. What is difficult for Lord Ram to do in terms of crossing an ocean? In a moment, he could have dried up the ocean. He could have enabled the entire army to cross over by air, or walking over the water, or drying up the ocean. After all, as a Supreme Lord, he is possessed of incomparable and unlimited potencies. He can do anything he likes. He is the master of innumerable universes. He's the master of the spiritual world. So what is it that is difficult even, not to speak of impossible, for the Supreme Lord to do? But he didn't act like that. He acted in a very gentle and humble way. And this, if you remember from Srila Prabhupada's definition of patience, is perfectly befitting. To remind you again, Srila Prabhupada says that when one is fully qualified and is yet very humble and gentle, then he's called patient. So Lord Ram could have, in a moment, accomplished his purpose. But he realized that I'm acting as a human being. And also I have to respect that the demigod in charge of the ocean, Varuna, is very empowered by me, and I have to respect him. So I should not act in a way that will humiliate him. So I must offer him due respects, and with my example, I will teach all the living entities, or the human beings in particular, how they must respect respectable entities or personalities. So he sat there on the bank of the ocean for 3 full days and nights on a mat made of kusha grass. He sat there with folded hands, awaiting the arrival of the ocean god. Now, 3 days and 3 nights, from one point of view, may not seem to be a very great length of time. But consider that Lord Ram had very urgent work to do. Sita Devi was there in captivity of Ravana, and Ravana had given her a warning and a time limit. Because Sita Devi refused to accept the invitations of Ravana, Ravana became furious, and he said that I will give you 1 year in which you have to make up your mind to accept me. And Sita Devi, of course, was not at all going to do that. And Ravana threatened her and said that if you don't accept, then I will be forced to kill you, to end your life. So time was running out. There was barely a month left for that 1 year to get over. And therefore, Ram did not have much time to spare. And on the other hand, near Ayodhya, his younger brother Bharat was worshipping Lord Ram's sandals, placing them on the throne, and he was ruling the kingdom on behalf of Lord Ram as a representative and a servant. And he had also proclaimed that if Lord Ram had not would not come back to Ayodhya in 14 years, then he would give up his life too. So then this was a predicament. So then, considering that the urgency of the matter at hand was so grave, still, even in spite of that, Lord Ram very patiently sat there for an entire 3 days and 3 nights. Generally, when you're about to embark on a mission to save somebody, let's say an army is sending somebody to do a mission in enemy territory, they are in a hurry. They have to be patient, but they also have a job to do. So then they can't sit and just wait for 3 days doing nothing. But Lord Ram actually sat and waited patiently for 3 days and 3 nights in all humility with folded hands. And when after 3 days and 3 nights were over, and the ocean god did not still appear, Lord Ram became furious, and he shot his arrow into the sea. And so powerful was the impact of that arrow that it caused great agitation in the waters of the ocean, and all the residents of the ocean began to panic in great fear. And Lakshman begged of Lord Ram to not do any further, especially when he saw that Lord Ram had now taken out his Brahmastra weapon, the deadly weapon that could cause enormous destruction. But just at that time, the ocean god appeared with folded hands and begged forgiveness. And he said that, my dear Lord, it is the eternal nature of the elements of nature, like earth, water, fire, ether, to have certain qualities. So it is the quality of the ocean to be filled with water and to flow in such a manner. And it is very unnatural for something like this to happen, where the water will part or the water will be dried up and so on. But nevertheless, I am at your service, and with my power, I will help the stones to float. So kindly go ahead with your associates and build a bridge, and I will ensure with my power that these stones will float and form a bridge by which you can cross over. So in this way, Varuna, the deity of the ocean, cooperated and served the Supreme Lord. The question may be asked, we are talking here about the quality of patience, but it appears that Ram was impatient, because after 3 days, he actually punished the god of the sea. But actually, I've already mentioned 2 reasons that caused a great deal of urgency, and despite that, Ram waited for 3 days and 3 nights. So when something is not urgent, one may be patient for a prolonged period, and that is understandable. But when something very urgent has to be done, and there is a great necessity for it to be done very quickly, and if it is not done, then there will be very disastrous consequences, then patience cannot be unlimited. Because patience is not a quality that can be seen in isolation of everything else. Let's say that you are walking with somebody, and some criminal comes and apprehends your associate, and you cannot simply be patient and say, we will wait. No, you have to intervene at that time to save the life of that person. So there are other qualities that have to be seen alongside patience. So when we speak of divine qualities, they have to be seen in the context of the situation. So patience has to be qualified also sometimes, for example, with justice, or the need to be compassionate or to save the life of another person. And also another interesting point here is that these divine qualities, they may be exercised differently by Brahmanas, by Kshatriyas, etc. So what may be patience for a Brahmana may not be the right thing for a Kshatriya to do beyond the point. Because a Kshatriya has to be very active and mete out justice. Now, Brahmana may be willing to wait and wait, but a Kshatriya in certain situations is forced by his nature and by the circumstances and by force of the duties that he's supposed to perform to actually not be patient in certain circumstances. So therefore, Lord Ram was patient when it was needed for 3 full days in even very extenuating circumstances. But when the time elapsed, then yes, then he said, okay, now the time is gone, and I must also do what is right for me, what is my duty as a Kshatriya. Now, patience, especially for a Kshatriya, does not mean tolerating the bad behavior of somebody beyond the point. Beyond the point, when there is bad behavior, then that bad behavior needs to be punished. So a Kshatriya is the one who punishes. So therefore, Lord Ram was acting as a Kshatriya. So he exhibited both the qualities of patience and also his quality as a Kshatriya, where he was expected to mete out justice. So this is something about the quality of patience. Secondly, is the quality of courage. Now, in the Bhagavad Gita, we know from the 18th chapter that Lord Krishna describes the qualities of a Kshatriya: Shauryam, Tejo, Dhritir, Daksham, Yuddhe cha Apalayanam, Danam, Ishvara Bhavascha, Kshatra Karma, Swabhavajam. So he outlines 9 qualities here, in which there is Shauryam, that refers to heroism. There is Tejaha, that is power. Third is Dhritihi, that is determination. Daksham, that is resourcefulness. The 7 qualities are the bottom of 9. 9 is for dominance. So Daksham, resourcefulness. 5th is Yuddhe cha apalayanam. Yuddhe means in battle. Palayanam means to flee. Apalayanam means to not flee. So a Kshatriya should never flee in battle, which means the Kshatriya should be steadfast and courageous in the face of very dangerous situations in battle when he's facing an enemy. The next quality is Dhanam, generosity, and then Ishvara Bhava, which means leadership. So courage, as indicated in the word Yuddhe cha apalayanam, that is courage in battle, was exemplified or demonstrated by Lord Ram on numerous occasions. When Lord Ram was only a young lad, Vishwamitra Muni came to the court of King Dasharatha and asked for some help. And Dasharatha Maharaj, as was his nature as a very pious king, who was very respectful to Brahmanas and saintly people, he said, definitely, whatever you wish, O great sage, it will be my great pleasure and honor to fulfill. When Vishwamitra Muni asked for Ram and Lakshman to accompany him to his ashram to kill many demons who were causing a great disturbance in that area, King Dasharatha became very nervous and aggrieved and fearful. In any case, Vasishtha Muni also convinced him to let Ram and Lakshman go, because they were all powerful and no harm could ever come to them. So they accompanied Vishwamitra Muni. And when they reached to the bank of the Ganga at a particular location, they came to a forest that was very desolate and that had overgrown itself with trees and bushes and so on. And Vishwamitra Muni explained the reason for that. He said that this was a history, this place had a very rich history, and it was very pious, but a demoness called Tataka came here and started terrorizing all the inhabitants of this place. So, by the way, terrorism has a long history. It is not only something that is a phenomenon that we see in our modern times. Terrorists have been there for a long time in all ages, Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali. So in any case, so because of the terrorism of Tataka, all the residents left and this forest became very desolate and overgrown. So Lord Ram, even though he was a young lad at that time, he killed this fierce demoness called Tataka. Now she also had a son called Maricha. And going further down, when Vishwamitra Muni brought Ram and Lakshman to a place called Siddhashram, where his ashram was located, and he indicated that there were many demons, Rakshasas actually, who used to come to haunt that place and would create a great disturbance in many ways. So once when Ram and Lakshman were living at Siddhashram, these demons came, led by Subahu and Maricha. So Lord Ram stood his ground and he killed Subahu by striking him on his body with his powerful arrows. And then he also knew that Marich was still destined to live. His time had not passed yet, because Marich would do some service later, just prior to the time of abduction of Sita. He had a role to play there. So Lord Ram knew that his time, his destiny was not over yet. So he struck an arrow and flung him into the middle of the ocean, far, far away. And then there were many other Rakshasas, demons, who were accompanying them. And Lord Ram also dispersed them all very easily. So this is these are some instances of Lord Ram demonstrating his courage, even as a young lad. Later on, when Ram and Lakshman, along with Sita Devi, went into the forest in exile, they reached the Panchavati forest after having crossed Chitrakoot, and they were at a place called Janasthan. This is the place where Ram was approached by Shurpanakha, who was the sister of Ravana. She was also a Rakshasi, a demoness, and she was attracted by the beauty of Lord Ram. But Lord Ram said, I have taken a vow to accept only one wife. And so he pointed to Lakshman, but Lakshman also refused. He said, I've already committed myself to serving Ram here, and I don't have any inclination of time to accept any other service or any other relationship. Then she got so angry, she attacked Sita. At that time, Lakshman cut off the nose and ears of Shurpanakha. She went crying loudly to a nearby place where her brother Khara lived, along with other demons like Bhushana and so on. So initially, Khara, being enraged with this, sent 14 powerful Rakshasas. But Ram killed them very easily. And he told Lakshman, please place Sita in a cave, and you stand guard outside and don't budge from there. I will tackle the Rakshasas as they come. And then Khara and Dushan became so furious, they personally came along with 14,000 other Rakshasas, and they attacked Lord Ram, who was standing there alone. Lord Ram stood there with firmly placing his feet on the ground, and he did not move from there. And he stood there in that exact same place for 1.5 hours. And in that time period, he killed all the demons who had come there, all 14,000 of them. So in this way, he demonstrated his quality of courage. And now we come to the quality of compassion. It is also a quality that is very important for us to cultivate in spiritual life. But even in ordinary life, compassion is a very important quality. Sometimes we see this quality even in animals. they also exhibit quality, compassion and kindness. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the 16th chapter, when Lord Krishna describes the divine qualities, Daivim Prakriti, he speaks about compassion as being Daya Bhuteshu. Having compassion upon all living entities is one of the many six divine qualities. So Lord Ram was not just Bhaktavatsala, one who was very affectionate to his devotees and kind and compassionate upon them. But in the Ramayana, he has also been addressed as the Ripu Ram Vatsala. The Ripu indicates an enemy. So Lord Ram was kind and compassionate even to those who were his enemies. And there are many examples of how he was compassionate to devotees, to those who are just ordinary human beings or in other species of life, and even those who were his enemies and demons. For example, when Ram and the armies of Sugriva were waiting at the shore of the ocean for the ocean to demigod to appear, Ravana sent a spy who took the form of a bird. The name of the spy was Shuka. And he came there and he spoke to Sugriva. And he tried to induce him to leave the service of Lord Ram. He gave the message of Ravana to Sugriva by saying that, Sugriva, I have no quarrel with you. I have caused you no harm. So why have you gathered your armies to fight against me? So immediately all the monkeys, the monkey soldiers, or Vanaras rather, they caught hold of this bird who was actually a Rakshasa, and they cut off his wings and beat him very badly. But then Lord Ram intervened because the Shuka appealed to Lord Ram that I am merely an envoy, and it is not correct that an envoy should be harmed in this way. There was this etiquette in diplomacy that an envoy is never to be harmed. So Lord Ram said, okay, don't kill him. But then the other monkey soldiers, they describe that actually this is a spy and he needs to be bound. So then Lord Ram agreed. When Shuka appealed to Lord Ram again, he said, we will not kill you, but we will keep you bound. We will not let you go back because you will go and reveal all the secrets about our army here. So we will release you once we reach Lanka. So Ram became very compassionate upon him. He could have easily killed him. The soldiers of Sugriva were very eager to do that. But Ram was very compassionate upon Shuka, and he let him survive. And when they reached Lanka, he released him. Another pastime that we see is that once there was a crow, actually it was a son of Indra, who approached Sita Devi and who bit her tender body, and some blood came out from the body. When Ram was so enraged, he picked up a blade of grass and used it as a Brahmastra weapon. At that time, the crow begged forgiveness, and Ram forgave that crow. But because the Brahmastra had to be used, he used it only to deprive the crow of one eye, but he did not kill the crow, Jayanta, who was the son of Indra, and he was kind and forgiving upon him. Similarly, Shurpanakha, when she attacked Sita Devi, Lakshman wanted to kill her, but Lord Ram forbade Lakshman from doing this. So he showed compassion even to Shurpanakha. Similarly, at the time of Ravana's death, as Ravana lay on the battlefield after having been killed by Lord Ram, and his queens were there lamenting over him, Lord Ram asked Vibhishan to perform the last rites, the cremation for his brother. Vibhishan said, my brother is such a distasteful person. he has performed such sinful activities that I have no heart to perform the ceremonies, the death ceremonies for my brother, even though he was elder to me. Therefore, my request is to not have any cremation. But Lord Ram prevailed upon him. He said, no, it is not right. In any case, Lord Ram, the battle is now over, and all hatred should cease, and the hostility should cease when there is death. So it is only proper for you, as a younger brother, to perform the last rites of Radha. So even in death, Lord Ram was kind upon Radha. And he said that he should be given a dignified departure from this world in terms of performing the last rites, the cremation rites. So if he was like this towards even those who were envious of him, we can imagine how kind he was to his devotees, to his mother's Kaikeyi, and to her maidservant Manthara, who were instrumental in getting Ram, Sita, and Lakshman exiled in the forest. Ram was very compassionate upon them, and he forbade Bharat from harming them. And he urged Bharat, Shatrugna, and Lakshman to also be very kind and loving to Kaikeyi and Manthara, despite all that they have done. So Ram was very compassionate, and he understood that this is my mother. I cannot be cruel to her. Similarly, when there was this little squirrel who came to offer some service by flicking some grains of sand into the ocean to help the Vanaras build the bridge, and Hanuman apparently at one point made a little fun of him, then Lord Ram told Hanuman that the service that you are doing is as valuable to me as the service that the squirrel is doing. The squirrel may be doing something very insignificant by your standards, but the power that I have given you is actually my power. And I have also given the squirrel power. So therefore, you are both equal to me. So he was very compassionate upon the squirrel and ensured that the squirrel would also be able to participate in the building of the bridge. Similarly, there are many other stories. He was compassionate upon Shabari, who had been waiting, and we saw that little drama of Shabari being enacted by the children from Nigeria. Shabari had been waiting patiently for many, many years for the arrival of Lord Ram. Her guru had prophesied and told her that Ram will come here. He will come here to see you and bestow his mercy upon you. And she was there alone, despite her god brothers discouraging her beyond a point after many years had gone. But then many of her god brothers became old, they also passed away, but Shabari remained there alone, waiting every single day. Okay, Ram will come today. And then finally Ram came. He did not forget. He came there only to bestow his mercy upon Shabari. He could have gone in another direction, but he came here and was very compassionate towards Shabari. So there are many such instances of the compassion of Lord Ram. And finally, we come to the fourth quality for today, and that is gratefulness or gratitude. In Sanskrit, this is referred to as kritagnyata, kritagnya. One who is always conscious of the good that someone has done to them. Kritagnya means to know. That one should always know, one should never forget the good that is done to us by other people. That not forgetting the good that others have done to oneself, and therefore acting appropriately towards that person, is called gratitude. And that quality is also visible in all the great saints, the devotees, and also the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality never forgets even the smallest service that has been rendered. Ishvara Svabhava Bhaktir Na Loy Aparad Alpa Seva Bahumani Atma Paryanta Prasad. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that the quality of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is that he doesn't take any offenses committed by his devotees seriously at all. On the contrary, if the devotee has offered him even very little service, Alpa Seva, the Lord considers that Alpa Seva or very little Seva to be something very great, enormous, Bahumani. And the Lord becomes so grateful for that little service that the devotee has rendered to him, that sometimes he even sells himself, Atma Paryanta Prasad. He even gives himself up utterly to that devotee who has offered even a little bit of service. This is the quality of gratitude that is exhibited by the Supreme Lord. And we see this also in the case of Lord Ram. When they were going around, Ram and Lakshman were searching for Sita after she had been abducted by Ravana. They came across Jatayu, who was in his last moments of life. Jatayu was in great pain, and he explained what had happened, that Ravan was carrying away Sita, and Jatayu, he interrupted, he actually stopped him and fought with Ravana. And Jatayu said, I'm a very old man. I don't have the old in age now, and I don't have the kind of strength left anymore. But still I tried to fight with Ravana and stop that vile person from abducting Sita Devi. And ultimately Ravana, of course, defeated Jatayu, cut off his wings, and Jatayu lay there collapsed on the ground. When Lord Ram and Lakshman understood that this was Jatayu, a friend of Dasharath Maharaj, and this was the great service he had done in trying to save Sita from Ravana, Ram became, his eyes filled with tears. And when Jatayu passed away in his arms, he personally carried his body and cremated him with his own hands. And he spoke many, many words of gratitude, glorifying Jatayu. Similarly, after Lord Ram had returned to Ayodhya being victorious, and the Vanara Sena, the army of monkeys, and everybody had come back, and Lord Ram, in the ceremony of his consecration, he began to offer his gratitude to all those great devotees of his who had undertaken great hardships to serve him in the forest. He began by thanking Hanuman, he thanked Sugriva, he thanked Vibhishan, he thanked all the soldiers in the army and everybody who had participated. And he glorified each of them as if he had thousands of mouths. And that was heartfelt gratitude that came from Lord Ram's mouth. And along with Sita Devi, he gave expensive gifts to each of these soldiers, including Hanuman. And he said that these gifts are not adequate compensation. They do not express my gratitude sufficiently, but it is only a small token of my gratitude towards the seva that you have done. In this way, Lord Ram has taught us that we should always be very grateful to those who help us in any way, even if those people are non-devotees. But if they have done something to help us, we must never forget that service that we have received. So gratitude is a very important quality in devotional life in particular, and in human life in general. So these are the 4 qualities that I've tried to discuss in brief. Hare Krishna. And my gratitude to all of you for having given me the opportunity to speak a few words glorifying Lord Ram. And in particular, my thanks once again to His Holiness Bhakti Dhira, Damodara Swami Maharaj, for the wonderful service that he is doing and for the wonderful guidance that he is doing for all of you in your devotional service. All glories to Sri Ramachandra, Sri Sita Ram ki Jai, Sri Lakshmana Hanuman ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Gaur Premanande Hari
Yeah,
Hari
you
Bol.
always go to the Sambit Maharaj ki. Yeah.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
I remember I was in
Yes.
Vrindavan, and I somehow missed arrangement for staying. So when I arrived there, I was wondering where to stay. At that time, he surrendered Bhakti Maharaj was temple president in Berlin after Belgium. First I met in Belgium. The second we met in Berlin. So Maharaj saw me when I was looking for. I went to say, don't worry, you come and stay with you. He's a temple president. He'll be temple president, not a small. He said, he's a big position. And he offered his place for me to stay. We were staying together. It was something I cannot forget. We stayed together for days. His hospitality was very touching, very pure and sweet. And I visited when he was in Belgium, and I saw his projects. When we were going inside, I was wondering if the place has an end. We're just going inside. It's a big place, and it had a very natural setting. Very natural. Everything is natural. Ashram, everything was perfectly constructed. Till now, is developing that place. So we are eternally indebted and appreciate your love and your Krishna consciousness. And then after so many years, we also met in New Delhi. So and we are greeting and talking with each other. So Maharaj said, before I was preaching, I'm not a body. But now I'm very careful. I take care of my body. So yes, let us take care of our body. We shouldn't neglect the body because we need it to do our service, to do our bhakti. So I always remember these sweet experiences together. And here we have as speaking. You can see how he's very composed, very serene, and just flowing very easy, like he's not doing anything, just peacefully going sweet. I was thinking, I hope you will not stop, but you just continue. So that we can really enter into Ram Lila, Ram Kata, and enjoy ourselves like this in Krishna consciousness. Like you say, we have everything has time in travel, so we are taking break for him. I hope there's some hands up for you, Maharaj. We are grateful to have you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And Maharaj, I hope we meet up soon sometime.
Yes, I will.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Yes, Maharaj, thank you very much, Maharaj, for so beautifully elaborating on the four qualities, patience, courage, compassion, and gratitude. And you gave so many examples, Maharaj, which was so pertinent and very easily understandable. Maharaj, if you permit, can we take one question? We have one devotee's hand raised. Yes. So we like to request Mataji, Sri Zopanishad Mataji. Mataji, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes.
Pranams. Hare Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj Prabhu, this was so very wonderful, so touching. The pastimes were, it just made my heart melt. One specifically on being grateful and having compassion, just really wanted me to reach out to ask you about that particular pastime with the crow and how Lord Ram, he didn't want to he didn't want to destroy the crow. He didn't want to kill him, but he also used the weapon, the Brahmastra weapon, and out of a straw, out of a blade of grass. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Where can I read that pastime? But he had to use the weapon. He could not, once he evoked the weapon, he had to use it. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Yes, that's right.
So it was like, it couldn't go to waste.
Yes. Yes.
That's amazing. That was amazing to me, because once he invoked it, he had to use it. So, wow, that was a realization for me. And also the compassion that he shared with Lord Ram. He just has so much. He makes you very emotional. He's just, he's so sweet at the same time. And I just wanted to ask you about that pastime. Where can I find it so I can read it again and enjoy it? Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. You will find it in the Valmiki Ramayana. In the narrative form, this pastime does come there about the crow. So you can take a look at that. So you made some good points. Yes.
And also, I wanted to offer my sincere being grateful for your sharing that wonderful pastime. All of the pastimes it's just so many of them. So thank you very much for sharing and being a part of this wonderful service. Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much for your question. And once again, Maharaj, thank you so much. We had the opportunity to listen to you. It's our great fortune, Maharaj. And we also like to have your association in our future programs as well. So thank you, Maharaj, so much for joining us.
Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we have reached nearly the end of our program. And now we invite you all to watch a very beautiful drama led by the Mauritian devotees. And the drama's name is The Unheard Hero of Ramayana, Jatayu. So let us have the drama on screen and please enjoy the drama.
The Unheard Hero of Ramayana, Jatayu. Going back to the episode where Mother Sita was asked by Lakshmana not to come out of the house alone in his and his brother's absence. Mother Sita went into the house and Lakshmana took an arrow and he drew a line in the sand all around the house, which is called a Lakshman Rekha. He said, "No one can cross this line. Sita, you stay in the house. Not for any reason at all will you cross this line. Don't come out of the house. As long as you are in the house, you'll be safe. And I will go and find Ram." As soon as Lakshmana departed and travelled some distance, Ravana, standing in the woods, changed his appearance and came in the disguise of an old sadhu. And he came to the hermitage gate and he said, "Bhiksham dehi, Bhiksham dehi, Bhavate Bhiksham dehi." Sita was stunned. What sadhu will come to me in the middle of the day asking for bhiksha? It is my dharma as an Aryan woman to give alms to anyone who asks. She said to him, "Please stand there at the gate and I will bring you some food." Mother Sita went inside the house to get some food, and Ravana came to the house and he tried to cross the line, and he could not. Every time he struck his finger over the line, blazing fire would jump up and sting him. He put his feet there and then the fire burned his foot. And in every way, Ravana tried to cross the Lakshman Rekha and he was unable. And then he understood. Sita came to the line and remembered Lakshman's word. She said, Sadhu Baba, please put your hand next to this line. I will hand you the food over the line. And Ravana said, what do you think I am? I am a beggar that will feed me from afar? You won't bring the food to me and let me sit down and have an asan and a glass of water and a clean place to enjoy my meal? What kind of woman are you? Ravana put down the water. Sita crossed the line and Ravana took his actual dress and his actual comportment and left his disguise as a sadhu and said, ha 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 ha, Sita, you belong to me, you belong with me. And he picked her up and carried her away. Ascending in the sky, Sita calling, Rama, Rama, why don't you come here and save me, Rama? In desperation, Sita called next to the trees, rivers, birds and animals. Then Sita spotted Jatayu who was sleeping on a tree. She called out, Jatayu, I know you cannot defeat Ravana, but please, please tell Rama I was kidnapped by him. Jatayu awoke upon hearing Mother Sita call. When he saw how Ravana was kidnapping her away, he challenged the Demon King. How dare you to lay your hands on someone else's wife? I am old, and you are young and armed with weapon. Still, I will not let you carry away Mother Sita. I warn you, give up your evil intentions, or you'll have to bear the consequences. Being challenged, Ravana angrily rushed at Jatayu. Then they began to fight. Ravana struck Jatayu with many weapons. Still, Jatayu tried to strike back with his beak. He managed to break Ravana's bow with his feet, though he was wounded. He fought back constantly. But due to his age, he became exhausted. Taking disadvantages, Ravana rose up, holding Sita in one hand and a sword in another, swiftly cut his wings, feet and feet, making him fall to the ground fatally wounded. Desperately, Sita ran to him and embraced him, tears coming out from her eyes. Then Ravana came, seized Sita by her hairs, dragged her to the chariot and flew away. After some time, when Rama came to approach the vulture with his arrow, thinking that the latter had swallowed Mother Sita, he recognized that he is Jatayu. He tried to save Mother Sita from the clutches of the demon. Upon hearing the heroic effort that Jatayu has put to rescue Mother Sita, despite knowing his limitations, Rama was touched and he embraced him. The Lord has become aggrieved upon seeing his well-wished plight. Thus, Jatayu grasping his last breath, uttering Ram, Ram, and gave up his body.
Jai, Jatayu ki Jai. Such a wonderful drama presented by the devotees from Mauritius. And we can see that Jatayu was such a selfless devotee serving Lord Ram so selflessly. And despite the fact that Ravana could kill him, still he fought so bravely with Ravana. And finally he left his body on the lap of Sri Ram, chanting the holy name of Lord Ram. Such a glorious devotion, dear devotees. And would like to thank the participants. And we have in the role of Sita, Bhaktin Hina. In the role of Ravana, we have Bhaktin Hisha. In the role of Lakshmana, we have Bhaktin Shreya. in the role of Rama, we have Bhakti in Shriya, and in the role of Jatayu, we have Bhakta Shish. So very, and also for the narration, we'd like to thank Her Grace Palika Mataji for very beautifully narrating the whole pastime. And we thank you all for very wonderfully watching this drama. And now, dear devotee, we have reached the end of this program. And we'd like to announce the winners of today's quiz. So can we have the winners of today's quiz on the screen? Okay, quiz results, session 2. So question 1, third position we have, sorry, Dasi. Second position we have Vishnu Vanasa.
You didn't say your name.
Position-
You didn't say your name there. Your name is-
Yes, in the first position we have Shuddha Bhakti Devi Dasi. Question 2, third position we have Mike Mataji. And second position we have Prasanta Gaur Das. And first position we have Pritimai Devi Dasi. And question 3, position we have Adakun Devi Dasi. Second position we have Krishna Gaur. And first position we have Pritimai Devi Dasi. Big Haribol to all the winners. Jai Shri Ram. And our devotees, and our so thank you all very much from the core of our heart for joining today's program. We hope that you appreciated the program, the wonderful lecture by His Grace Shubha Vilas Prabhu, by His Holiness Rasamrit Swami Maharaj, the drama by the wonderful devotees, and the festival doesn't end here. It continues tomorrow with session 3. And we'd like you to have a look at session 3 at tomorrow's schedule, which is here on your screen. So tomorrow we have the great opportunity to listen to His Holiness Kavichandra Swami Maharaj, and Maharaj will be talking on the mood of celebrating Ramanavami, and we have a quiz in between, and then after that we have a second talk by His Holiness Bhakti Narasimha Swami Maharaj on the lessons we can learn from Lord Rama's life, followed by dramas, bhajan, and dance. So we thank you so much, dear devotees. Please invite your friends, your family members to joining tomorrow in larger numbers so that we can preach the glories of Lord Ramachandra everywhere. Jai Shri Ram. So we thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Right. Thank you all very much. What is with you?
श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भयदारुणम् श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भयदारुणम् नवकञ्जलोचन कञ्जमुखकर कञ्जपद कञ्जारुणम् श्रीराम श्रीराम कंदर्प अगणित सङ्ग्रामजितखरदूषणम् श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भज मन हर